ತೊಡಗಿಸಿರುವುದು ಅದರ ಗ್ರಾಮಗಳಲ್ಲಿ. ಗಾಂಧೀಜಿಯವರ ಈ ನುಡಿಗಳು ನಿಟ್ಟೆ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಸಂಸ್ಥಾಪಕ ನ್ಯಾಯಮೂರ್ತಿ ಕೆಎಸ್ ಹೆಗ್ಡೆ ಅವರ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿತ್ವದ ಅವಿಭಾಜ್ಯ ಅಂಗಗಳಾಗಿದ್ದವು. ಕರಾವಳಿ ಪ್ರದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ನೈತಿಕ ಅಡಿಗಲ್ಲಿನ ಮೇಲೆ ಸಾಮಾಜಿಕ ಕಾಳಜಿಯಿಂದ ಸ್ಥಾಪಿತವಾದ ನಿಟ್ಟೆ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಅಲ್ಪಾವಧಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಶೈಕ್ಷಣಿಕ ಕ್ರಾಂತಿ ಮಾಡಿ ವಿಶ್ವ ದರ್ಜೆಯ ವಿದ್ಯಾಲಯಗಳನ್ನು ಸ್ಥಾಪಿಸಿದರೂ ಇಂದಿಗೂ ತನ್ನ ಸುತ್ತಣ ಗ್ರಾಮೀಣ ಬದುಕಿನ ಉನ್ನತಿಗೆ ಆತ್ಮೀಯವಾಗಿ ಸ್ಪಂದಿಸುತ್ತಿರುವುದಕ್ಕೆ ಇದೇ ಕಾರಣ. ನಿಟ್ಟೆ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಈ ಸಾಮಾಜಿಕ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿಯ ಯಶೋಗಾಥೆ ನಿಜಕ್ಕೂ ರೋಚಕ. ನಿಟ್ಟೆ ಒಂದು ಕಾಲಘಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾರ್ಕಳ ತಾಲೂಕಿನ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಪುಟ್ಟ ಗ್ರಾಮ. ಇಂದು ಭಾರತದ ಶೈಕ್ಷಣಿಕ ಭೂಪಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಗೊಳಿಸುತ್ತಿರುವ ಮಹಾವಿದ್ಯಾಲಯಗಳ ನಗರ. ನಿಟ್ಟೆ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಈ ಅಪೂರ್ವ ಪ್ರಗತಿಯಿಂದ ಅಲ್ಲಿನ ಗ್ರಾಮಸ್ಥರಿಗೆ ದೊರೆತ ಸೌಲಭ್ಯಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಅಪರಿಮಿತ. ಕಳೆದ 40 ವರ್ಷಗಳಿಂದ ನಿಟ್ಟೆ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆ ಸದ್ದಿಲ್ಲದೆ ತೋರುತ್ತಿರುವ ಮಾನವೀಯತೆ ಹಾಗೂ ಸಹಾನುಭೂತಿಗಳ ಕಾರಣ ಗ್ರಾಮಗಳು
Very good afternoon to you all. Respected dignitaries, distinguished guests, the experts and my dear student friends. Welcome to the much anticipated expert talk on sustainability. Today we embark on a journey of enlightenment as we gather insights from our esteemed speakers or the panelists. Their wisdom will guide us towards a more sustainable as well as harmonious world. Without further ado, let us dive into this illuminating discourse. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to all the distinguished panel experts over here. So my dear friends, it's my privilege to introduce the session chair as well as the moderator of this particular panel discussion on sustainability is none other than Dr. Shashikant Karinka, who is a distinguished figure having served as a former professor and HOD of Department of Mechanical Engineering at NMMIT. Dr. Karinka sir earned his MTech degree in Environmental Science as well as PhD from IIT Mumbai and Kassel University, Germany. He is a prolific researcher with over 50 technical papers in renewable energy, lean and green manufacturing and education. A two-time recipient of the Young Scientist Award from the Government of India, is also a patent agent and an invited speaker at international forums addressing topics like skills, emissions, environment and sustainability. I am delighted to share that Dr. Karinka sir is not only an accomplished scholar but also the moderator for the panel discussion. His expertise in the field coupled with his role as a seasoned moderator promises an engaging and insightful session. Let us warmly welcome Dr. Shashikant Karinka sir to the podium as he welcomes you all and introduce our distinguished expert Mr. K.P. Murthy sir.
Thank you, Dr. Melvin, for the introduction. It gives me, respected dignitaries, experts, faculty members, my dear students, it gives me a great pleasure to introduce before you Mr. K.P. Murthy. He is a former general manager, senior general manager of Bosch Limited. He was also with the chairman of SA India Bangalore section. He is a strategic consultant and more of, he is now a connect between industry and the institute with respect to sustainability. He has a BE degree in mechanical engineering, then MPhil in energy, PG diploma in marketing and sales. He has over 44 years of industry experience of power tools for construction, automotive manufacturing and others. So he was with the Bosch as head of sales and marketing, then former national manager of marketing Rallis India, a Tata Group company. So he has earned, he is a Bosch Alumni Network as a former serial general manager, then member of National Governing Council of Bamboo Society of India. He is a recipient of Lifetime Achievement Award from SA India Foundation. As I told, past chairman of SA India Bangalore, past member of SA India Board. Then former member of Central Board, Department of Technical Education, Government of Karnataka, founder of Clean Technology or Sustainability Clubs. He is an innovator by himself. One of the machines he has made is first portable electric sprayer in the country. He is a member of Skill Board for Government of Assam, Government of Tripura and so on. He has trained 1,500 occasional teachers, 225 UNESCO UNDP sponsored trainees and 25 Afghan artisans and so on. He has been driving vocational education and training in India, linking government, corporate and foundations. He has supported, you may be aware that Dr. APJ Kalam had his vision of Pura, okay, township in the villages. So he has supported Pura vision of Dr. APJ Kalam. And as I said, he is a member of, also he is member of board, in the member of board or governor in the governing council of several universities. So with this brief on Mr. K.P. Murthy, I invite you, sir, to give the expert talk on sustainability. Now over to you, sir. A warm welcome from my side to you, sir, on behalf of all of us here.
Very good afternoon to ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls. I thank the management of this highly reputed NITE group for giving me this opportunity to speak with you on this topic of sustainability. I was recollecting what was said in the inaugural session. The Vice Chancellor was mentioning that the Industry Institute relationship has to grow day after every day. So I was recollecting the association in MHRD for 3 years on this topic, in which myself and the great reputed Professor N.R. Shetty, Achyuta Samanta, we were all together. It was, I was in that group for 3 years, and that was done by the Ministry of Education only at that time, MHRD. And finally, why I said this is, everybody talks of Industry Institute. But what really happens is, to be very frank, the industry thinks, some impressions I get, it's not my own impression, that academics are more theoretical, and academia thinks that industry fellows are all business fellows. So that is one impression. So the best, this is the, what the Vice Chancellor was telling. So we not to bring them together. If A and B has to come together, the best thing is A will do something useful to B and B will do something for A. Then only this can happen. This is my impression, my So I recollect my first job. I was 20 years in Tata Group, 20 years to plus in Bosch, equally divided of 44 years between both of them. So when I went for a job 50 years back, 55 years back in the Tata Group, they asked me one question. Please tell us how you will be useful to us. This I recollect, I won't forget even now. I don't know what I said. I went all the way to Bombay House, that is the Tata's place. Then they said, you are selected. So I felt very happy. So that means we have to be useful. So the second point is what Dr. Panigrahi was mentioning. I am starting from where he left his presentation. He talked about very from an overview on a sustainability, and he was talking about the ESG. This is what I am going to talk from there. This is the interest of industry today. So if you understand what is ESG, then a lot of benefits will come for employment, for international ranking. That is all the game now. So the last point the respected Vinay Hegdeji was mentioning, I was remembering these 3 points. He was telling, let us not have a knowledge based, let us not have a degree based, let us have knowledge based. So what today, the entire industry is really hunting for talent on sustainability, people with sustainability knowledge and skills. So now the game comes, what is this sustainability at all? It is very nebulous, not clear. From my interactions with many people, they are not very clear. They think it's nature, something. But what I am trying to say is, sustainability, I am talking of sustainable engineering. I have successfully persuaded 6 autonomous institutions. The first one who has taken it forward is Professor N.R. Shetty in NIT Bangalore, then REVA, then Dayanand Sagar, then BMS. I can go on naming. They have introduced what is called sustainable engineering curriculum as an open elective as a first step. The second step is to do projects on sustainable engineering. The third step is a center of excellence. The third step is the most important step when you have a sustainable center of excellence, is the intense industry interface. So I told you the story of usefulness. That means if you know what these industry fellows are wanting somehow, that is why whenever I have a chance to meet students here for their purpose, they need to know what are 4 A's. First A is they have to be good in academics. Second A, they have to be very good in activity. For example, I am very active in the automotive leadership in the country. We have what is called a BAHA, vehicle design of highway vehicle. So people actually build a vehicle. In fact, when I remember Kulkarni days here, your SCI club, that was my visit. So you design a vehicle, you run a vehicle, you go for a test, you run it. So you have to do some activity. That means what I am saying, you have to do sustainability projects. What are those projects? I am going to list out 25 projects right now before you. I think I need my bag, somebody can get me later on. So this is what it is. So now let us understand. Give me that bag. I need my bag. So what we need to do is to understand what is the sustainable engineering all about. As responsible engineers, engineering applied to sustainability is called sustainable engineering, or engineering friendly to sustainability is sustainable engineering. The definition is clear. Then the question is coming, I asked many people who are in final semester of the engineering, can you define engineering? Somebody says it is application, somebody says it is research. If I ask a question here, I don't want to take more time on asking questions here. I don't get a clear answer. But to make the story short, I want to tell you, engineering is to be defined as design, build, test and research and innovation. So if you have to be a good engineer, all of you students remember, whether you are going to be a good at designing, or you are really going to good in manufacturing or making, or you are putting your hands on, that's what I mean. That's what we do in all German companies. the CMD of a German company may be getting 1 crore salary, but he sits and works, he will do it with his hands. So doing that is what it is building. The testing is, suppose you are designing a vehicle and you say the braking distance is 10 feet and the car stops at 12 feet, then you are going to hit somebody. So you need to decide, are you going to be good in testing, designing or building, and are you good at teaching, that's another part of it, or are you going to be good in the research, because the opportunities are there. So having defined what is engineering, now let us define, we have said what is sustainability. So if you can apply the engineering part of it for the sustainability requirement of the industry, then you get a job. Today, a fast emerging market for jobs is sustainability, and now it is warming up. Today if you go to Germany, in Germany what happens, no student will join a company if their sustainability score is low. In other words, we call ESG score. It is there going on worldwide, but it is now warming up in India. You can look at the type of economic times number of jobs that are being talked about. So this sustainable engineering is a multidisciplinary story. But in our country we have got the great civil engineers who started as an environmental engineering in so many colleges in India, but they are all driven by the pioneering civil engineers. That is, when you talk of environmental engineering, we talk about a check dam, something like that, like we talk of sustainability is nature. So what we need to do in the sustainable engineering story is, we have to be friendly with nature, that is the environment story. Suppose we are not friendly, we are doing some harm, we need to measure and mitigate. How do I reduce that? Suppose I have designed a vehicle, my pollution. How many people know that the pollution from the tailpipe is less than the pollution from the tire? This is what is called tire pollution. So this is the topic to be understood. And the more the electric vehicles are coming, the weight of the electric vehicle is going by 20% up. That means the tire pollutions are more. And that is what it clears as particle matter 2.5. So these are the things. Taking bath in the river, and my father was taking bath in the river, and my father was taking water in the with buckets. Now I am scrubbing with a sponge for water. So this is how you are doing any harm, or the topics like disaster management, all these things come. So topics of sustainability in engineering are like, for example, electrolyzers, hydrogen, recycling, end of life design, life cycle analysis, emission regulations. These all come under the curriculum portion of sustainability, sustainable engineering. So having said that, if we are proficient, we learn it as a curriculum, as an open elective, then we do some projects by being activity. So what are the 5 A's for the students? Number 1 is academics, number 2 is activity, number 3, the very important thing, is awareness. If I ask the students, have you heard of electrolyzers? I don't know how many can answer me. Have you gone through what is the microbial electrolysis for getting green hydrogen from bamboo? I am going to give you one example of the projects as far as the biomaterials that are used, like our friend was talking, that you can get from bamboo green hydrogen. Green hydrogen through renewable energy you will get from normal water by breaking it. So these are the things. If today hydrogen is important, the institution will get associated with the Hydrogen Association of India. We have people from Indian Oil Chiefs, all people. So we need to go for growth. We need to go with growth. We need to know which side is growing. That is what is called the awareness part of it. So academics, activity, awareness. The 4th A is access. Like Professor Parameshwaran reaches out to us, I reach to Parameshwaran, or I reach to PMO office. How do I reach people? Many students I see, they can't even talk to the professor because they are scared. I don't know. There is a lot of silence between them. You need to ask if there is anything. So accessing people is a big art. It is very difficult. If you access people, a lot of problems will be solved. So how do you access people is we have to think about it. I am not giving a solution at this time. And the last but not the least, as A is concerned, is attitude. So these 5 A's, one attitude is, if nobody can do, how can I do? Other fellow says, if nobody can do, I will only do it. That is the attitude difference. So these 5 A's are meant for the students. So this is what is sustainable engineering as far as the definition is concerned. Okay? Having said sustainable engineering, there are different topics, which I have tried to mention to you. This is what is an actionable area. And I am going to give you one example through my presentation. So what are the things that we can do in engineering in a factory or in industry from sustainable engineering knowledge we gain? Number 1, sustainable materials. What are the alternate materials that could be used? For example, coal, reduced coal, steel, oil, plastic and wood. Because they are all high energy consuming and high polluting things. Energy is the major area, emission is another area. That means, how do we reduce the carbon dioxide? Carbon capture is there. How do you put it underneath? If you are now talking of blue economy now. So this is what is going around us. It is not difficult at all. If you open your eyes on sustainability and go into details, I am sure you get to understand what it is. Then why it is. I have explained to you what. We are going to go on a format of what, why and how. Why it is? Because it will get you internships, it will get you jobs. It will get the international ranking score for the institution. For example, you are already internationally ranked in UI Green Metric. But the question is, last year Mangalore University got 143 rank. Last year NIT Silchar got a rank. SRM got, Kalasilingam got. So that means that is international ranking is a matter of additional feather in the organization with such a wonderful organization like this. So institutions do sustainability because sustainability score can be added. Even in NAC, as you know, 7.123 has a sustainability score. So that is the interest of mostly this is such a reputed institution. We are genuinely working towards the social good. See, don't understand that sustainability is a social action, so we have to do that. It is for your own job purposes, for your own purposes of growth, what the whole world is looking at. And then the another issue is, there are $300 billion through an act called IRA, Inflation Reduction Act, done by the Biden government in US, which is providing funding for all the research topics related to sustainable engineering. That means after you do here, you want to go to MS in US, it opens up your chance if you know these topics, because they are very mad on the battery management system. There are so many things are there of this type. So that will help the students for your future studies, and that's how it will help a lot as far as this is concerned. So one way is to select a right sustainable material. In agriculture it is organic. Sustainability is there everywhere. Sustainable construction, for example. Sustainable manufacturing, for example. Sustainable agriculture, for example. This is a big long story of each one of them. So I just want to ask you one question. I also happen to be in the governing body of Bamboo Society of India. How many of the students here know that the tensile strength of bamboo is more than steel? Raise hands. It is 28,000 PSI against 23,400 of steel. Having said that, now we are talking of fluorescent bamboo. We are talking of transparent bamboo. Why? If you can reduce, lightweighting is another very interesting thing in industry. Do you know that in China, the bullet trains, the body is out of bamboo winding composites, reducing the weight by 50%. So, what does it mean? We need to, why? Because bamboo is plenty available there in China. They are doing $42 billion turnover per year. I am not comparing India, I will tell you that story later on. So what are they doing? What are they doing is, how do I reduce emission? By reducing energy consumption. 90% is a coal power. Grid power is coal power. So they are looking at, just like you look at the renewable power, you are looking at what material can I use. Suppose if I reduce the weight of the bullet train, you know the advantage of fuel. In automotive, for 100 grams of weight reduction, we do tapas. So this is an area, so lightweighting, how do we do? That's the designing part. So material selection is one part. So reduce coal, steel, plastic, oil and wood. So this is one simple example I am trying to. So you are looking at alternate materials is one of the interesting area in sustainable engineering. Then how do you reduce the process? For example, you put cameras while you are working there. You can see all unwanted assembly work can be avoided. That's what Volvo is doing today. So how does this all come? So once you do this curriculum, once you do these projects, once you have the center of excellence or whatever it is an intense industry interface. That means call a man who has got a ESG report, go to the internet and see what is the ESG report of Bosch, what is the ESG report of Larsen and Toubro. Go through that. It will give you the entire detail, how much carbon they are reducing, how much water they are reducing. And then waste is another important issue in sustainable engineering. Waste is what? We have got 4 R's we talk generally. Reduce, reuse, recycle and recover. This is the mantra mostly in industry. But I will add for a lifestyle 2 more R's. Another is refuse. I take coffee and somebody keeps on giving me more and more coffee. I say I refuse. So that's the 5th R. There is another 6th R, what is called, giving it to somebody, like we have Red Cross. It's called Red Cross. I have 200 shirts with me in my shelf. The other fellow doesn't have even one. What does it mean? You are only occupying the space, more cloth manufacturing, more water used, more chemical used. So lifestyle sustainability is one part. We are engineering people. What can we do in biomedical? What can we do in agriculture? What sensors we can use? What IoTs can we use? This all comes under innovation because you have got Idea Lab, Innovation Lab, Atal Lab. So many facilities are being given by the organization of your institution. So we need to use and look at what can be done. Now the latest thing is all computer science companies are jumping into sustainability. For example, if you talk of SAP, they are talking of zero waste, zero energy, zero emission, zero inequality. That is the template of SAP now. Now in ERP what you take, you see it all touch points it has got, it will give you a gap analysis, all the truth points, what is your current consumption of energy and what is the goal. Simply saying by 2030 I will do so much of emission, that is not the thing. What exactly are you going to do year by year? So once you know the goal and once you know where you are, this is what is called measurement. So you need to measure your actual metrics, you need to measure where you want to go. The gap is analyzed and how are you going to reach that? So this discussion, if you get into understand this topic, you all can learn. This is not a rocket science, but only thing is you should have an interest to know this is the topic. A simply theoretical thing will not just help. So with this short introduction, I don't know, I hope I have given some idea what is all the sustainable engineering all about. I am talking on sustainable engineering in specific nature and what is it we can do. It is an applied engineering applied to sustainability goals. So what are the sustainability goals? Reduction of emission. Emission comes from energy. What alternate materials can we do? Can we reduce the oil? So there are so many things of this kind which we can come in a curriculum, then actually doing things and then getting into industry interface and case studies. Only thing is we sit and discuss what is your problem, can I solve, I can't solve, or I go to another man, and what are the new things that can be done. And industry interest is reducing the cost. Industry wants to reduce the cost, like anybody wants to reduce the cost. So you want to reduce the cycle in operation, in maintenance, it could be any form in running a show or whatever it is. So with this short talk, I want to take you to the, you show it, yeah, play it. Is it coming there?
It's going to be started. Line cut in 16.
So anyway, to tell you, you may ask me how did I get into this story of sustainability. I have been an industry guy for several years I met Dr. Jeffrey Sachs, the advisor to Kofi Annan in 2006. He has given me 1.5 hour time in New York. And that way I got impressed with him. So I put his picture. He gave me a beautiful book. All that I don't want to say what he's given me. It was a... I don't have anything to do on that. Can only tell you what responsible engineers can do about sustainability. Next, please keep going. So, this is a general story. Go back. So, these are some of the areas that generally SDGs are covered. I will run through my presentation very fast. You can look at it. Next. What happened? So we go and try with all animals and all that, we cut them and do in our lab. We don't know who is responsible for COVID. You know how we suffered. So when we go, like the other day, somebody is going and cutting the forest, the tigers are coming into our place. No? So that's the reason. I am not blaming them. This is what is all the problems happening of sustainability, what is happening to the nature. You know all this. So how do we reduce it? How do we reduce the use of cement, for example? Can I reduce with some material which has got high silica content and reduce this cement content? Serious is what is happening. Not that you do not know. I have seen one gentleman the other day when I was going in Bangalore, he is throwing his water bottle from the car outside like this. He finished his water, he is just throwing. My car was next, it was about to fall on my windshield. So we have like that. There are some people in villages, sorry to mention, not here, they put all the dust in the next compound, somebody on the road. That is why he was talking of Swachh Bharat and all. These are all long shots, but I am only for a short shot because of your jobs and opportunities and emerging fast market demand as far as sustainability is concerned. So I covered all these things. What is sustainability? Somebody will ask you. This is what it is. Why it is? Because COP27, G20, everywhere we are talking. But unless we set an example down in our own ground, any amount of lecture will not help. So we need to have a clear-cut goals, projects. Anyway, I think our Dr. Panigrahi was trying to show you, but the core of sustainability, because, see, I will take you each area-wise. The central thing is environment, whatever we do in whatever profession, whatever may be the profession you can analyze, we should see that we don't harm nature. If we have to harm, can we mitigate it or can we reduce it? You are creating a problem for somebody, reduce the problem, Otherwise that somebody will create problem for you. Next. Yeah. Next. Yeah, this is what is the benefits for the organization. Industry benefits on ESG. Suppose you are a knowledgeable man on ESG, how does it benefit the companies? So I told you, unless we are useful to the other man will not take us. So, no, wait, don't go and pass. Go back. Is that okay? All of you could see that. You understand that. See, if I don't take care of my customer, if my product fails, I don't recall the product back, then that fellow will never bother. My image will go away. See, this organization is so famous because they have built a name over years because of their social consciousness, doing things rightly. This is what it is. So stakeholder is what for a company? A customer, employee, shareholder, You get my point. Primarily cost reduction, employee retention, reduction of attrition rate. This is all the interest of the company. So, if you join a place, you should not get sacked for your inefficiency. So you should always try that you are efficient man. How do you show that? By doing things what they are expecting. This is the whole bottom line. Next. What is it in terms of ESG, in terms of environment? You need to look at now what is ESG, now I am explaining. See, primarily it is all pollution. Primarily it is emission, pollution. And why pollution will happen? If the particle matter 2.5 goes into the lungs, you are finished. That is what is happening. Other day I was in the Commission of Air Quality in Delhi on a meeting with those secretary or all those bureaucracy. So 420, 430 was the air quality index in Delhi. You can't see the opposite car. So they said you go alternate cars, so many things they are doing. But what is the solution? I'll give you solutions for that. Anyway, you could all see the slide? Anybody? Because I will want to talk to you more extempore than go through the slides. Next. What is it you are going to do? Suppose you do something product in your design. Suppose take a capsule for example. Your machine doesn't dose properly the equal quantity and you take the tablet. What happens? So you have to be extremely careful about the people for whom you are designing the product. A lot of pre-market requirement is there. So health is the main thing because they spend more money by your wrong designs. They spend more money. Health is gone, you know. Go ahead. As far as the governance is concerned, this is the management people are concerned. See, sustainability has got three phases. One is the engineering phase, another is the management phase, another is the legal phase. The legal phase is Consumer Protection Act, environmental law. There are so many laws. Now one law constitution gives us that we are all entitled for a clean oxygen. So that doesn't mean that we can go, if we go to a court it is different. But that is what is happening now. We are getting polluted thing. So what does it mean? It is a constitutional right for you under section so and so that you are entitled for a pure air. Okay? So application of natural item, I will tell you one. During COVID time, we had this oxygen concentrators. We were buying 60,000, 70,000, 1 lakh. So few lakhs of them were imported by. Then this was handled by, this project was given to ISRO. Then I was talking to Mr. Somnath, he is the current chairman. He was in Tumba those days, earlier times. Lithium zeolite is the base raw material used for sieving, breaking the oxygen and nitrogen from the atmosphere air from compressing that. There is another alternative called bamboo carbon composite. So lithium zeolite is costing 6,000 rupees a kilogram. So all these oxygen concentrators, you know, when you empty that raw material, to refill it is a costly affair. So we need to know what is the biomaterial available for us which can effectively perform the same characters. So this calls for you to know, once you go into detail, bio is the claim. The silicon carbide material that can be used to replace your dental and implants into the legs. I thought I will talk on the health side. Anyway, next. Yeah, just look at this little more detail. How this evolved in the social responsibility has come in the earlier days. These are all the things the company looks into this in the industry. You are able to go to read that last line? Is it clear? Everybody can see that? Next. This is the matrix actually. A lot of these things are company's interests. So you need to know what is this company's interest. They are talking of bottom line profit. Then that is one topic to see. So many parameters are there as far as the industry is concerned, because we are talking of industry now. Next. Why are we looking for the sustainable material? See that. Water. Because you need oxygen. So I have become an oxygen concentrator to take out oxygen part of it and leave the nitrogen out. It is true. Next. Yeah. Now I will tell you the story which I promised you from bamboo for a little while very quickly. It is amazing. First question I asked is, how many of you know the tensile strength? There are several things which, it's called a vegetable steel, so many things, please go through that. We measured with an oximeter in a bamboo plant, it is 35.2. The normal air, 21% is the oxygen, highest oxygen. Go to any city center in Bangalore, I don't know about Mangaluru, it is average 17%. Suppose I am giving you double the oxygen, abundant oxygen supply. In every public park, we call what is called bamboo tunnel. It is nothing but a walking track on both sides bamboo plant. That's called a bamboo tunnel, like our trees go on the highways. So what does it mean? It means, I gave the example to the Commission of Air Quality in Delhi the other day. One bamboo tunnel can give you in figure 65 tons of CO2 sequestration per year. There are 48,000 buildings in Delhi. There are 18,000 public parks in Delhi. Please calculate how naturally you can drive the oxygen. Then coming to the carbon dioxide, it is 4 times. Compared to any plant, I will give you the pie charts of all that. And bamboo reduces 20% particle matter 2.5. What is particle matter? Because of the carbon dioxide, all that is coming together with the greenhouse gases, all this mixed together in temperature, UV radiation, it becomes, the particle matters come. So you have got construction, particle matters come, you got dust, you got particle matters. So these particle matters, when it is less than 2.5 microns, that gets into the bloodstream. This is the health concern. Okay? And then as per the World Bank reports, 36.8 billion is the air pollution money loss to India, country of India. So let us be a part of solution, not pollution, that's what we say. Next. See this is how a tunnel looks, which is you can see in Infosys Bangalore or Titan Factory Bangalore. Nothing but simple truths. What is so great in putting it? It is not a rocket science, but people have no idea what that is giving. So this is the information I am telling you. How many people know when you manufacture a tire, 28% is a carbon black in that. Instead of taking a carbon black, carbon black comes from where? Like in our olden days, we got a lantern, the grandmothers, it all seek, soot that comes black, that's called carbon black. So what they are producing, Reliance and all carbon black, is from the fossil fuel or the diesel and all. Instead of that, there is what is called bamboo carbon black, bamboo silicon carbide. There are several applications, aerospace and all that. I will restrict myself on, say this, what's happening, my architect friends will know, on the top of a building, you have a wind vertical turbine, at the same time you also keep a solar panel. So what happens? During the daytime you get solar, during the night time you get the wind. So vertical turbines of small in size, which can give you 2 kilowatts, 3 kilowatts are available. This institution, I expect somebody to design wind turbines, vertical, small for domestic use. Please go into details. Because today, even now, in the current budget, of course, they are talking of the offshore wind turbine, wind plant. I can send you super CEO experts for discussing on turbines in my Indo connections, because we have a lot of group of industry friends. So, this is what Indian Institute of Science has got a CGPL. You know that? You know Indian Institute of Science. Their own lab, they have used bamboo as a feedstock to produce power up to 500 kilowatts, 100 kilowatts, small ones, And today in Bangalore, we have got one factory who uses the, use the bamboo, replacing the LPGs. He is supplying to all bamboo pellets, that is. Bamboo pellets are made by pulverizing, by powdering it, and then adding resin. What that guy is doing resin is coffee covers. Today in NTPC they have allowed up to 7% replacement of coal. I said reduce coal, steel, plastic and all that. Anyway, this is a power generation story for the benefit of our electrical engineering friends. Next. This is what is called a bamboo pellet. Next. Anyway, one of the colleges I saw, because I have set up sustainability clubs, student clubs, where they do actual projects. See, somebody makes a bamboo helmet, intelligent helmet. Helmet should be must be what do you call, you need to breathe. You need to breathe, otherwise you get a lot of sweat. Same thing is applicable for gloves. So these are the things what we need to know. What is the problem in a shop floor? If you put a glove, you don't feel comfortable. So how do I make it more comfortable? These are not expensive. It is a matter of innovation. Innovation comes only when you are clear with the problem. 50% problem statement gives you an answer, and that's why one need to look at. But you need to look at that and be seriously concerned in doing it. Next. Anyway, this is an interesting story which I want to tell you. In metro station, they have put a turnstile like that, Turnstile. Turnstile with a composite material if you put, as you walk in a temple like a Tirumala Balaji or any of your temple or any railway station, if you make one design of this, as you walk it rotates and it is connected to the Sungear system, and finally you produce the power for the entire metro station. Why can't turnstiles be kept here when boys enter, if you have to enter, and the power is generated for this? That means you are not taking grid power, you are producing your own power. So standalone power generation is one way of sustainable practical approach. Next. This is a case of a wind turbine I wanted to show you. Wind turbines, so much is happening on wind turbines, but lack of wind is an issue. So we need to know where to place what. Next. IIT Kharagpur has made several years ago using bamboo. Here's a lot of civil engineers here, I hope, replacing the steel with bamboo. Bamboo, underline treated. Treated bamboo has to be used in construction, which has got a tremendous application. The other day, Mr. Reddy of Indian Institute of Science was telling, you will insert in bamboo nanocarbon tubes to make only that. He is talking about the fluorescent bamboo. He is talking of what do you call, which the light passes, that. Transparent, I'm sorry. Thanks for it. Transparent bamboo. You can imagine what is transparent bamboo. See, it is research. So when you go into an issue, how do I reduce the weight? How do I reduce the cement? What can I do? Can I talk to somebody? Because you have so many experts here in, no. Another thing for my friend is there on air conditioning. You can replace the central air conditioning ducts with bamboo mat board. GI central air conditioning ducts cost 58 to 60 rupees per square feet. Whereas if you do with bamboo mat board, it is 18 rupees per square feet. So when I told this to Uman Chandy there when he was the Chief Minister in Kerala, I was responsible to set up a research center in Barton Hill Engineering College. He called all his ministers. He's so nice man. I don't know. One of the men who knows him took me to his apartment, small house, not a big house. He was having ministers meeting. When I told your Kerala government is struggling for revenue always, and hundreds and thousands of your people are in Gulf, and 1,000. What is the air conditioning business is very huge there. Central air conditioning business in Dubai is very huge. So I said, why not you start? Then he said, Murthy, you start a center, let my boys do. Okay. When 2 years the boys did, the third people, nobody wants to do project. They just want only, as your respected president told, degree based, not knowledge based. If you are so keen on doing something, I am sure you will reach the great height at irrespective of your age. But you should have the passion to do it. Why should I do? No, I will do it. Next, please. That is a picture of IIT Kharagpur's picture of 2 BHK I showed you. Now this is what you have seen. Gadkari ji made NIT Nagpur to make crash guard on the highway using bamboo. See the videos on the net. When lorry goes and cuts, it doesn't break. You will be thinking, what is this material? Now we are talking of ethanol making from bamboo, because now it in the current budget, it is mandatory to use blending of biofuel. Because you have to reduce, reduce, reuse, recycle, recover. These are all our mantras on sustainability. Next. See this, from microbial electrolysis, you can get from bamboo hydrogen. See this. Are any membrane experts here? Next. My friends, drone. You can make a drone from bamboo, please. You know, there is what is called suicide drones. In the army, when you make a drone, it goes and hits and then it collapses. Even in hospitality industry today, drones are being used. You want idli, I put on the plate and press and program it to deliver to you there. It goes. I have a lot of aerospace top company friends. I can tell you to give you clues on drone technologies. It's happening. How do we use the cost effectiveness? You know. Anyway, this is the automotive story. Bamboo bicycle is a classic example because it absorbs vibration, absorbs shock. It is light, low density. Okay. Then you can do a 3D printed bamboo bicycle frame, not necessarily by jointing. Next. Yeah, this, can you play this? Just look at this electric bicycle of bamboo. It is a, you know how to play? You know how to play? Yeah. Play. Sound please.
Hey guys, I'm here in Santa Cruz. As you can see, I have a special custom-made bike here in front of me, and today I'm going to review this. It's bamboo tree. As you can see, it's made from bamboo, and the whole frame is maybe about 10 kilos, and that's lighter than any other, bike which is made from alloy steels. As you can see, also there is a light speed here, and which is the.
I am not taking it far, so I go to the next. Yeah, this is a treadmill bicycle. You do treadmill, no power required. You can design the same structure. Next. See this, BMW using bamboo steering wheels. Next. This is what China bullet trains with bamboo winding composite bodies. We are having Mande Bharat. We are having so many things in India, no? See, this is how a slab is made for civil engineers. Next. Next. See, this is in Nagpur. Benefit of civil engineers. Next. You know, it's very important thing, go back. If you want to arrest the crack in cement, because all of us are afraid of cracks in the walls, add bamboo reinforcement, bamboo fiber. This I told to one structural engineer in Calcutta, he got an order to do the flooring of a basketball because there is a lot of resistance of this flooring. So he has used this. It has a big application in railway concrete sleepers. It has a lot of applications. I am not going into details of this now. Next. Crack arresting is a very important thing in your next. Road making in public, rural areas, instead of using all your steel. Stop dumping steel, please. Next. Even your lift places can be used with a composite. You see, all lifts are used with metal. Stainless steel they are using. These are the areas. Next. I will show you some interesting figures of the companies. Next. Honeywell. Okay. I will read out quickly some projects, I conclude. 3D printed bamboo bicycle, bamboo cage solar vehicle load carrier, bamboo pellet in NTPC, bamboo plastics for vehicle interior, bamboo AC ducts replacing galvanized iron, bamboo wind turbine blades for charge spots, bamboo ethanol in laboratory. One of my clubs, I am in BOG in some universities, that girl made in his laboratory using a rotary evaporator. She did pulverizing bamboo, powdering it and all that, squeezed ethanol out of it. Then bamboo drone, bamboo rifle butt, lakhs of rifles using oak as a back. It gives a lot of pressure. So you design one, defense people should love it. Then very interesting thing, bamboo produces negative ions. The problem in disease is positive ions. Every tree produces negative ions, but bamboo produces abundant negative ions. So if you have a pergola or a place like in Madurai University we have done, what they have done is a library place they sit, put plants all around. The negative ions advantage is they remove all the stress. You go to any bamboo in Mangaluru and measure yourself what was your BP before and after. You will tell me what it is. So stress relieving, concentration increasing in the near the just making a place near your library. Then bamboo tunnels in public parks. Then I will answer the data center was one topic today it was discussing. There is what is called adiabatic cooling, natural way to reduce the temperature. My architect friends should look into that seriously. Adiabatic cooling is a natural way to cool by 6 degrees. Then there is one more rule that is coming in the Ministry of Highways. They are now going to make a rule, all lorry driver cabins should have air conditioning. The air conditioning suppliers will be happy for the huge business. But if you put a bamboo mat board on that, on the driver cabin, 4 degrees temperature will come down. Advantage is the AC load will come down. The advantage is fuel consumption will come down by 1.8%. So many are there like that. If I want, I can go on reading. And bamboo can go extremely well in rubber products. So I don't want to give 25, 30 projects. These are all the projects which students should do. Projects, curriculum, projects, center of excellence. Selecting the right material, understanding the process. So if you have to get those industry fellows here, just say you come for campus interview, that is one way. But the idea is you come here, my fellow is working, let us do joint work. I will get you the important industry fellows, that's not a problem. But the question is that we need to really plan to work together. Thank you so much.
Setting up the stage for the next event, that is the panel discussion, will take another 2-3 minutes. In the meanwhile, let me give you a preamble of the panel discussion. So I am really grateful to NMMIT, our own principal sir, and our NITE management and Director of Industry Institute Collaboration for giving me this opportunity to lead the stream on sustainability. In a way, I have come a full circle, having admitted to environmental science and engineering way back in the year 1986. During those days, Indian institutes of technology were leading in technology compared to the industry of those days. And when we were approaching them to reduce pollution or bring down pollution, global warming and climate change issues, they used to have a laugh saying that what you are talking, it is too idealistic. But in due course, what happened? With the intervention, global intervention, and in India, the governments were unstable governments we saw for nearly 15 or 20 years. So the government was not strong enough. During those days, the Supreme Court of India through one lawyer, I think I remember Mehta, then the intervention of the Supreme Court, they put it in a way that you have to now change. So whatever the black cities used to be, Bangalore or Delhi, when you go at 6 o'clock or so, it used to be so dark with the vehicular emissions, especially smoke and all. So that got controlled. Now you may be knowing that Central Pollution Control Board, State Pollution Control Boards are there. So through them, all these emissions, whether vehicular emissions or industrial emissions, are controlled. So now it is everybody's responsibility is that we have to preserve the earth, and we should never break the resilience of the earth or the ecosystem. And also additionally, in those days we were told, see, this is what you have to take students especially, we were told that electric vehicle, although Reva was there, we were told that electrical vehicle is not possible. We were told that solar energy is very inefficient, not possible. But down the line, in the last 20 years or so, it's making waves actually. It may be making waves. So I personally have removed the word not possible. So nowadays, everything is possible. Don't believe if somebody says not possible. Everything is possible. 2 days back, I was having a talk with one of the persons who has implemented AI in one of the petrochemical industry. He says, everything is possible. It is the AI feeling they are going to give, it is possible. So there are two groups of thought. One group says not possible, another group says possible. Okay, so due to fast change in technology and confidentiality maintained in the industries, academics is further lagging, and what is happening in industry we will not know, and technical papers alone or patent filing alone will not solve the problem. We have to move along with the industries to reduce the gap. With this kind of note, now I would like to go into the sustainability stream. So sustainability is the way forward. As you saw, I think some of the crowd may be different now. In the morning what the crowd was there, they have seen the chief guest who came here to talk about sustainability, spoke so well. He said sustainability is the way forward, irrespective of discipline, all type. Even the bank people, when they work, they have to think of sustainable way of working in their operations. So with this, now I'll take we are running short of time, that's why we are in a hurry. I have to invite our panelists and introduce them before you. Okay. Now we have a panel discussion. The area is sustainability. There are 4 subtopics. In one of the topic you will see circular economy, life cycle assessment and sustainability standards. That we will be putting the questions to Sri Mahadev Chikkanna. Then we have sustainable urban design and construction. We will be putting these questions to Sri Prasad Vaidya. I will tell about them in detail subsequently. Then we have sustainable design of data center and quantum computers. It is will be answered by Sri Subramaniam. Then we have another subtopic, optimization of energy system and grid management by Dr. J. Raja. So these are all the 4 subtopics under the sustainability. Of course, sustainability encompasses very wide, but we are just selected these topics considering our area of interest. Okay. So irrespective of discipline and irrespective of institutions, please carry home or means to your respective institution the idea of sustainability and start working. We have these experts available with us. Whoever is interested, please get back to us so that we can connect you people with them so that you can work on sustainability projects, irrespective of your discipline. Again and again I am telling, so it encompasses all streams of education. Okay. Now I invite the panelists, Mr. Mahadev Chikkanna, please come forward, sir. Then Mr. Prasad Vaidya, please come up, sir. Then Mr. C. Subramaniam, please, sir. Then Dr. J. Raja, please come forward, sir. Then I request Professor Vinod Arana, sir, where are you? Please come, sir, come forward. He will be the observer for our panel discussion. our own person is the director of School of Architecture. I am going to tell in detail. So please, sir, take your seats, please. Thanks to Murthy sir for the very nice talk on sustainability. So now again I warmly welcome our own principal, director IIC, then our advisor Gopinath sir and all faculty members and students to this very important topic of sustainability panel discussion. We have with us, I already read their name. Now let me start with the, in the order which I have as per the subtopic. Mr. Mahadev Chikkanna, sir, he is the, warm welcome to all of you. Now Mr. Mahadev Chikkanna, he is the founder and CEO of Minusco and Yeha. It's a company founded by him in Bangalore. Minusco is a platform enabling companies to adopt biomaterials and circular solutions in their supply chain. Yeha helps consumers transition to a circular lifestyle. Committed to circular and green economy, Mahadev is recognized one of the top 100 global leaders in 2023 for combining profit and purpose to help achieve United Nations goals. Prior to starting his entrepreneurial journey, Mahadev worked with Infosys and NTT Data for over 15 years. His work experience spans across North America, Europe and Asia. He has completed a bachelor degree in electronics engineering and masters in business administration. Here I would like to tell you, a person qualified in electronics engineering went to IT, came back to mechanical. He is working on mechanical product development. So he lives in Bangalore, India with his parents, wife and 2 daughters. Warm welcome to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
We have Mr. Prasad Vaidya, another great luminary, an architect. He is a brief bio. When I asked, he gave so brief, I will be able to read only that much. Mr. Prasad Vaidya is the director of Solar Decathlon India and is senior advisor to Indian Institute of Human Settlement and AEEE. His 30-year career has been focused on sustainability and energy conscious design, from passive and low energy design to net zero projects spanning India, United States of America, Middle East and Korea. He has also worked on energy policy and utility programs in the United States and India. He was a partner at the White Group in the USA until 2012. He started the master's program in building energy performance at the CEPT University, where he was a professor and area chair until 2019. He is on the board of advisors at multiple institutions in India. He is a widely published researcher, and his book on integrated designs serves as a textbook in architectural programs. In 2020, Prasad initiated Solar Decathlon India, which is now the largest net zero building challenge in the world, with the participation from 150 plus colleges and partnering with the 150 developers and manufacturers. So that's a great thing, sir. Warm welcome to you, Mr. Prasad Vaidya, sir.
Thank you.
Then we have another expert here, Mr. C. Subramaniam, an alumnus of IIT Madras. He has a lot of affiliations. I will not go into the details of each one of that. He is a presidential member of Indian Society for Heating, Refrigeration, Air Conditioning Engineering. He is an independent consultant at 3S Green and SSS Consultants, Bangalore, offering consultants services in the fields of sustainability. HVAC means heating, ventilation, air conditioning, and IBMS design services. In his professional career, he has handled varieties of projects relating to heating, ventilation, and air conditioning and refrigeration systems, intelligent building automation system and control, chiller plant management, district cooling, data center applications, green buildings, LED, Griha and IGBC green building certification, energy simulation and commissioning of services. He has also served as a senior trainer in Train Academy, responsible for training for Europe, Middle East, Africa and India operations. So he was the president of ISRAE, national chair for ISRAE, member of ISRAE Advisory Council, Ashray, past president, member of Indian Green Building Council, member Indoor Air Quality Association, member Association of Ammonia Refrigeration. So this is the profile of Mr. C. Subramaniam, sir. A very warm welcome to you.
Thank you.
He has a lot of information with him, so those of you interested may interact later. Now we have another expert luminary, Dr. J. Raja. He is Assistant Director from the National Power Training Institute, Ministry of Power. He is coming from all the way from Neyveli. He has a BE degree in Electrical and Electronics, ME in Power System and PhD Power System. He has expertise in power system, transmission and distribution, control system, deregulation, power system optimization techniques, LFC problem, solar PV plant design, installation, operation and maintenance, solar rooftop technology. And so far he has handled 12 consultancy projects related to DPRs, preparation, project management agency and so on. He has developed Solar and Thermal Lab at Faridabad, Delhi NCR and RE Lab at Neyveli. He is handling all procurement related work at NPTI in Neyveli. He has submitted a proposal to Power Ministry for Smart Grid Lab setup at Neyveli. He has trained more than 500 DISCOM executives in solar PV technology and its integration issues. And he has a total experience of more than 21 years in academic research and consultancy field. And he was program director for the conduction of 2 months training program on solar technology. He has also published a lot of papers in International Journal 23, International Conference 10, National Conference 3. And he has also published book. He is a reviewer of book, technical book. And he has published book Solar Technology and Its Application by SciTech Publications. Second book is published Practices in Power System Management in India. So with this, he has also attended a lot of short and long-term training programs himself and also organized such things. With this, I welcome Dr. J. Raja to this panel discussion.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. So, a very warm welcome to you. Now let me read out our own Professor Vinod Arana. He is a Bachelor of Architecture, Master of Architecture. Then he is a lead AP Architect, Urban Planner, Sustainability Specialist. He is at present Director of NITTA Institute of Architecture. Professor Vinod Arana is a keen visionary who has networked with organizations in India, US and Indonesia to bring about positive change in policy and grassroots public participation. He holds dual master degree in architecture and urban planning from the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign in USA, a certificate in business administration and also a lead AP. Professor Vinod Arana is the founder director of the NITTA Institute of Architecture, Mangalore. He is an architect, urban planner, sustainability and green building specialist. His rich professional experience in the field of architecture spans over 30 years. This includes his own office located in the US, Green Building Council in Washington, D.C. as a lead accredited professional. He is a widely traveled, keen visionary and a known personality among organizations in India, US and Indonesia. He strives to bring about positive change in policy and grassroots participation. Warm welcome to you, sir, Professor Vinod Arana, sir. So, now let me tell you the 4 subtopics I already mentioned. So, circular economy, life cycle assessment and sustainability standards and green product development will be dealt by Sri Mahadev Chikkanna, founder of Minusco company in Bangalore. Second is sustainable urban design and construction by Sri Prasad Vaidya. Then sustainable design of data center and quantum computer by Mr. C. Subramaniam, and optimization of energy system and grid management by Dr. J. Raja. Sir, I will put questions to each one of you. For you may answer maximum 3 minutes for each of the questions. Then I will come in rounds. So finally, our panel discussion sum up will be made by Professor Vinod Arana. So, sir, afterwards in 5 minutes you can wind up with the. So, to start with, let me start. I will come to my place, then I will put across. So the question to Mr. Mahadev Chikkana, when we talk of sustainability, we commonly come across the phrases such as circular economy, life cycle assessment, product design for sustainability, and sustainability and ESG standards. You may share your experiences about all these phrases, in what way, how it is different from the conventional way, please.
It's very unsustainable, sir. It's 3 minutes for something that requires 30 minutes. Anyway, I think you guys are familiar with most of the terminology, circular economy, sustainability, and stuff like that. I just want to bring in some contrast to probably what you understand with some examples, right? How many people believe in this room that wooden spoons are sustainable? Can you raise your hands? Wooden spoons, fantastic, sustainable, green, eco-friendly, great solutions. Wow, great. I can see only few hands raising. That's really good, very positive. Okay, if you guys, others are shy, then it's okay, you can hold on. How many of you believe the biodegradable bags? Now, Karnataka government has made biodegradable bags as an alternative to regular plastic bags. That biodegradable bags are sustainable. Can you raise your hands? Okay, all right. Since only 3 minutes are there, let me not wait. So sustainability, when we talk about sustainability, sir said everybody is talking about social, economical, and environment, right? Let's take spoon as an example. Wooden spoons today are neither social, nor economical, nor environment friendly. And I want to stand here and prove this. First of all, let's pick the environment side. When we talk about environment, everybody wants to protect the planet. When they talk about protecting the planet, they want to make sure the planet, we don't extract more and more resources, and that's where the concept of circular economy comes, where we don't extract more and more resources from the planet, we reuse the resources. We don't create waste. The wooden spoon, from a fundamental standpoint, is to create waste. Everybody throws spoons. It is a waste. The concept of creating waste from a product design is eliminated when you start using wooden spoon. You are going to end up throwing these wooden spoons and create waste. These resources are not circulated. And it takes about 20 years for the trees to kind of grow wood, which would then become mature enough to be used for spoons. And then you use the spoons for hardly few minutes. That means you're just not giving enough time for the planet to regenerate the resource. If you continue to keep extracting, making spoons out of the trees, you're going to be using trees much faster, cutting trees much faster than the planet can regenerate itself. So it is, I mean, exactly opposite to being a circular solution. When it comes to economic aspect, right? More than 90% of the spoons, and I can bet more than 90% of the wooden spoons are either imported from China and other countries, or, and I know some of my friends who are manufacturing them in India, the wood for making these spoons come from Eastern European countries. What an economy we are building. Post-COVID, now Prasad Vaidya was telling, there is deglobalization everybody is working towards, and we are building an economy that's going to be making us extremely dependent on other countries, other geographies. We should be working economic systems which is going to make us self-reliant. So it is neither ecological, neither economical. Now coming to social aspect, wood is one of the most vulnerable material for bacterial and fungal infection. And the process, if you see the process of making these wooden spoons, you will understand it goes through a thermal, moisture, treatment, and then cutting process. It becomes even more hungry for bacteria to work on. Unless they are treated with coatings, by the time they land on your plate or in your hands, they would already be infected. So there are some novel methods of coating them with like bee wax and stuff like that, but most people don't do that because the economics does not support that. So finally, we've tested some spoons. Most of them are either coated with boric acid or formaldehyde, which leaches so easily into the body, you don't need temperature also. All these substances are carcinogenic in nature. Now, it's not social as well because you're creating such a devastating scenario for us where more and more people can be contaminating with cancer related problems. So these spoons really tell us what sustainability is, that this is not really sustainable. Okay. Now, if you look at the biodegradable bags, for example, right? Let's talk about the life cycle assessment. Life cycle assessment is a fantastic tool. It's just not a tool, it's a concept, it's a principle. If we apply it, like Sir said, engineering sustainability, right? Using LCA, we can actually really do engineering sustainability. It's all about understanding the impact across different dimensions of the product to understand whether whatever new products we're coming up, is it better than any other alternatives that is being displaced. So biodegradable bags, which displaces the regular bags, if we talk about only the carbon footprint, is about 100 times, if not 1,000 times, more higher than the regular plastic bags that are displaced. To give you some quantifiable data there, the regular HDPE bags result in about 2 kgs carbon emission per kg. It can, when they were producing those bags, we were using them multiple times in our houses, let's say 10 times, okay, before we threw them. Now we have biodegradable bags. Their carbon footprint, you will not see this anywhere. It's just foolish people like us who try to go into the details of the truth, not just reading the media publications, to understand the real implications of these solutions. Results in about 9 to 12 kgs carbon footprint per kg of these biodegradable bags. And they are expected to be used only once. Over, let's say, 1 year period, instead of you using one bag for 10 times, resulting in 2 kgs, I mean, let's say, carbon emission, now you are resulting in about 20. And resulting in 10 times bags, so that is like 200 kg. So technically speaking, this is from a life cycle footprint standpoint, it is an incorrect solution to be used. Not many people know about biodegradable bags, that they are made from fossil resources. Most of them think that something that is biodegradable is actually bio-based, right? It's very intuitional, but it is not. It is made from the same fossil resource which the HDPE bags are made, which means you are extracting far more resources much quickly by making these biodegradable bags instead of reusable bags. So from a sustainability standpoint, it doesn't make sense only. It's neither circular, the carbon footprint is higher, and then you're extracting resources much faster actually. So my dear friends, sustainability, think product design as sustainability. Eliminate waste while designing the product. As an example, what we do is, we don't eliminate waste for the products when the products are not useful. When we design the product, we use waste to make the products. You have plenty of waste around. In our manufacturing facility, we get bamboo waste from Mangalore, which comes to our factory in Mysore. Right? The waste that gets thrown out of agarbatti industries here is an input for us in Mysore to convert them into finished products. So with this, I'd like to just hand it over, sir, because I can go on.
Yeah.
I hope it has thrown some light around circular economy, sustainability, and life cycle assessment.
Yeah. Thanks. Bear with me for loaded questions. Thanks for that clarification. We have otherwise misconception which he has removed. Thank you very much. Now I'll move on to the next question to the next panelist, is to Mr. Prasad Vaidya. Sir, this may be a bit political type, but please answer. You are an expert on urban sustainability and advisor to the Institute of Human Settlement. We know that cities develop vertically and horizontally due to population boom, sometimes crossing the limits of the earth resilience. When we look at cities like Bengaluru in Karnataka, it looks like a mad development without taking into consideration the human and environmental aspirations. It looks like it may crumble at any moment. If one monsoon fails, everything will fail. Are we fully safeguarding the risk? In the context of the Actionable project, it was like a daydream. To a common man, it makes us to shiver when we think of the doomsday. Are we right or wrong? We don't know. You as an expert, please answer this, sir.
Okay, I don't think this is political at all. But thanks for a fantastic question. It's yeah, I mean, if depends on where you come from. If you are coming from a small location and moving to a very big location, then it seems scary. If you come from a big location to a small location, it seems very scary for other reasons, right? But cities, actually, if you think about it, are where people gather together for economic aspirations. And cities in that sense become resilient because if anybody knows network theory, then you know that the more network nodes you have, the more resilient the structure is. So cities actually are more resilient, especially economically, because there are number of people and number of businesses going on. Now, the impact that we create with our economics and our businesses and our lifestyles on the cities are what makes it scary. So that's what I think you're talking about. But this is an evolution that we have seen over history. I think Vinod would also know this, that the cities that we think about today that are beautiful or pleasant, especially in foreign countries, are cities that have gone through a similar upheaval that we are going through in India today. So industrial revolution, especially if you've seen movies like Gangs of New York or like the English Game, that series that was there, you can see during the industrial revolution and pre-industrial revolution how bad their cities were. They had to face the same kind of pollution issues and resource issues that we are facing right now. And eventually they sort of made the planning better and got the cities to be in a better place. We can do that too. Right now, in the global south, India and the entire tropical belt where the cities are growing, in India especially, our urbanization is where we are going to be about 50% of our population by 2050 will be living in large cities. And the rest of so we are walking towards that, and throughout the global south this is happening. So this requires a lot of infrastructure that's going to be taking place. So this is where the infrastructure revolution is happening, and there's a lot of money that is being put into this. The money that is being put into this also comes with an expectation of what will happen. And this, I think, makes this infrastructure part actually become a very big opportunity. There are 3 Ds that we talk about when it comes to infrastructure expectation from the people who are investing. One is decarbonization. So we have to build our cities so that the carbon that goes into the building materials, roads, etc., is reduced. So that's the embodied carbon. And then the use of the energy that goes into the city for buildings, infrastructure, for transportation, etc., is reduced so that the carbon is reduced in operation. So this is the decarbonization that is expected from the investors. The other one is digitization, which means that these cities are going to become smart, the buildings will be smart, the infrastructure will be smart, and there'll be a lot of data integration that happens into the infrastructure. So this is the other expectation that is there. And the third one is, so we have digitization, decarbonization, and deglobalization, which means that we want to start using more and more local infrastructure resources, materials, people, etc., to be able to drive our economy. So if these 3 things are what the expectation is, and if you are going to deliver on them, there is a huge opportunity for this, because it allows us to make our cities high-tech, sustainable because it's decarbonization, and local, which means that we are going to do a lot of local good employment. So this is how our cities, if we respond to them correctly, will actually be better.
But water.
So I'll come to that, yeah. So what happens is that when we are talking about this revolution of cities and the way we do it right, we have a very limited window to take care of it, because once you build a piece of infrastructure, it lasts for 50 to 100 years. So if we don't do it right now, then the lock-in period is a good 100 years. And then we will be left with whatever that poor infrastructure is for that much amount of time. Now water, I think, is something that we need to think about differently. So when we talk about cities, there are multiple systems in a city. Water is a system, energy is a system, transportation is a system, these are the systems. If we look at subsistence, or if you look at resource consumption, and if you look, there's this discussion of net zero-ness or sufficiency of any location. So if you think about the amount of energy that comes and falls on a piece of land, and the ability for people to live off that energy that comes. So it's the solar energy or the wind energy that comes on an acre of land. How many people can live on an acre of land? That's your sort of carrying capacity for energy. Similarly, you can have a carrying capacity for water, which is the amount of rainwater that falls, or the water that you might be able to take from the ground, as long as it's renewable. And how many people can subsist on it? Water, it turns out, for India is the one that is the hardest to be able to be self-sufficient on given your piece of land, which means that going high-rise and having lots of people living on the same piece of land is not sustainable. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir. It has answered the question and removed the doubts also. Thank you for that. Thank you.
Can I share some viewpoint on this?
Okay, sir.
See, your question was the question is on the burden on the system infrastructure when urbanization takes place and all that.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel that it is a real problem today. See what happens is you keep expanding buildings. And it invariably happens because you're talking about growth. But then the rainwater, whatever get captured on the ground, because for a buildings like, there are lots of tankers coming. Now, where do they get the water from? We don't know. Okay. What is the quality of the water? We don't know. I feel that today government has to put a policy that beyond this footprint, tier 1 cities like, Bangalore, Chennai, Mumbai, Delhi and all that cannot grow. They should put a stop to it. And other tier 2, tier 3
Sir,
cities
you would like to
Bangalore, all that should be developed because otherwise you're always raising against
that
time.
is what my concern
I
also.
feel, see, why is it that, for example, we stay in Bangalore, we feel happy coming here, or I feel happy going to my native place in Tamil Nadu, because we feel that we are closer with Mother Nature. I feel that there is a little bit of disconnect, and somewhere, I think, at least in younger minds, we should put that, let people try to develop their capabilities, develop the place they live, and grow and become entrepreneurs or do something, but not just go and burden and we race against sustainability.
I think there are two groups of thoughts in many ways, and which group over dominates, according to that direction, the policy is driven, sir. You wants to say something?
Yeah, I think that the point that you raised, Subbu, about a city like Bangalore or city like Bombay, actually a city like Singapore, you feel close to nature because they've been able to integrate nature into the city really well. And it's also a high-rise city. So, similar to how you talked about, you can't just take a product and see what it is unless you've actually done, say, the circular economy calculations that's around it. Even cities have metrics for what are considered to be appropriate levels of development. One can be the number of people per hectare. Another one can be, what is the amount of FSI that you build up, right? Yes. Another one can be the tons of carbon per capita that is consumed in a city. These are the kinds of metrics that you have to be able to count it, because depending on where you are in a city and the kind of economic activity, you may want to have certain areas that are high rise and others that are low rise. Generally, I think all experts in the urban environment agree that a low rise but high density development is what a city needs. But that's not something that you can do everywhere in a city. In central business district, you still need to go high rise for economic reasons. So that happens.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Now I'll move on to Mr. C. Subramaniam. Actually, I will just talk something jokingly before giving you this question. The big problem on sustainability are the mechanical engineers, and in particular thermal engineers, and you are leading them on this forum, sir. They burn everything they see having energy in it since the day fire was discovered, just for human comfort. On the top of it, they are aided by the laws of thermodynamics to say that 100% efficient process is impossible and there will be always losses. This is where the concept of sustainability hinges on a balance for success or failure. Anything we burn has a problem. So this is just general. Now I am asking you the question. It is predicted that with the implementation of artificial intelligence, virtual reality and so on and so forth, the future computers will be of very high capacity, drawing much more power as compared to today's systems and also requiring sufficient cooling systems. Is not this contrary to the idea of sustainability? That is my question. On one hand, we are taking help of advanced software for good use of human society, and at the same time, they are also causing problem to the environment. There are two schools of thought on this. One says yes and the other says no. You belong to which school of thought and your views on this, sir?
Yeah, see, this is, I think, multiple questions you have. The one is, now with the growth of population, so see, the population is something you can't, this one, growth is there. Now the today's context, the people's way of lifestyle, the way of working is different from what was 40 years back, 60 years back. People want information on their fingertip. So we are data driven. So when you are data driven, we want something to give us data, something to store data, something to capture data, store it, analyze it, and give you the meaningful information and draw conclusion. And that is what your data centers and your supercomputers and all that are all doing, because you have artificial intelligence, machine learning. Now for everything, now you say cloud is doing everything. Now cloud is not going to do unless you feed the cloud, right? So there is something that is required. So we have to efficiently use it, right? And possibly we can't, just because data is freely available, I think we should not abuse the data that is there. That is where the energy is getting consumed. And second is, that the temperature requirements of your servers, we don't have to think that we need 18 degrees, 20 degrees, 22 degrees. It was old days. They are all capable of working at a higher temperature of 28 degrees. So, and chilled water, for example, we used to give at 7 degrees and all from there. Now we can supply at 18 degrees Celsius. So the temperature limits, the technologies of servers and computers have gone up. Their resilience has gone up. So the revised thermal guidelines have been issued. And even the cooling system also, we are talking about natural cooling, free cooling, all that. So those things are also there. So the energy, the PUE, which you call power usage effectiveness, and water usage effectiveness in data centers, they are all very much, come down and much more efficient. And we don't have much more efficient systems are there. So on that count, it's not an issue. So that's my view take on that.
Thank you, sir. Although my question was loaded, but you answered it very well, and doubts are cleared. As you said, the cooling lower temperature has gone up, and the operational level temperature also has gone up. So we are on having advantage on both counts. Yeah, you have answered my question. That's thanks to that. Now I will move on to Dr. J. Raja. This is regarding the electrical system. As we all know, the population of the globe is expanding in general, but diminishing in some developed countries and also in China. You all know that India overtook China in April 2023. Now it is #1 in population in the world. Hence, to fulfill the requirements of human comfort, we need to provide more energy for operating all equipment. How much of this increase in demand could be compensated by energy efficiency improvement measures, and how much could be compensated through the clean energy route instead of the dirty fossil route is my question to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your elaborated question. First thing is, if you talk about Indian power sector, it is basically growing exponentially. And when you refer billion unit or per unit generation over year 2014, it was something like 1,111 billion units. And we are getting it from both fossil fuel as well as renewable energy. As of now, it is increasing exponentially, and our generation from both fossil and renewable energy, cumulatively it will become 1,644 billion units, which means even if you talk about increase in population, in both way, we are also technically well matured, and we have implemented a lot of knowledge, logics over all the power generation, and we are trying to find a path how to increase the power generation. And if you refer renewable energies alone, my point of view, it is not sustainable. You can't able to use renewable energy alone for long run. Since predominantly renewable energy refers the energy generation from solar and wind. And we all know it, your solar can work only during day period, that too effectively 5 to 6 hours in a day. And similarly, your wind is a seasonal one, and you can get the power from the wind when the wind velocity is 3 to up to 15, 12 meters per second wind velocity, which means it's a seasonable one. And people are suggesting to increase our per capita energy consumption in order to get a sustainable energy. Always refers you go with hybridization of few or more energy generation sources.
You mean to say that the fossil energy will remain for some time till we get something breakthrough?
Of course, it is our father and mother, and renewable energies are our children's. Without father and mother, children will not be there. And to stabilize our base load, always energy is required from a thermal energy.
Okay.
And to overcome the peak demand and some high demand, we can use it for renewable energy.
So you are representing the government, so we take it as the policy of the government, right, no, sir?
Yes, sir, yes.
Okay. And now, yeah, thank you for that answer. Now I'll go the reverse way from this side to that side. I have a question to you again. What is going to be in the future? Like now our Prime Minister has said 1 crore homes will have solar system. So that means it's a micro sort of decentralized power home to home. And are we going to have DC direct or AC? What type of arrangement it may be in the future? And which is the technology area that is very critical in these type of developments?
Yes, sir. Last week we had a meeting with CMD of REC, Renewable Energy Corporation Limited. And he told us and instructed us to train the people in solar area. That manpower required for a solar area is around 70,000 people. And he told us he received an instruction from Prime Minister office and stating that Prime Minister want to execute Pradhan Mantri Surya Yojana scheme, and which he targeted to install more than 1 crore rooftop over all the houses, and with a capacity varies between 3 to up to 5 kilowatt, and for which they have allotted more than 15,000 crore as a subsidy, right? Which means something like initially he targeted only for 5 states where the states has more population and more growth of economy, and later he wants to implement towards to southern side. The thing is, Professor Jungjung from IIT Delhi, he has developed a model where he generates the DC power from the solar, and he replaced all the home appliances from AC to DC, and he shown the result effectively, and he proved the overall efficiency gets improved. And the biggest problem in solar is inverter, right? Though we are converting the DC to AC generation, inverter always creates a problem in terms of harmonic generation. Once when it enters, it creates a lot of problem to all of your house appliances, which will in turn reduces overall efficiency, right? So DC alone we can't able to run as of now, and people are thinking, alternate the DC domestic appliances. Once when it comes, we may think to replace the entire AC component in our house into DC component, where we can connect our solar directly.
So that means huge innovation possibilities in the field of overall product development, not only in electrical, but every product, fan, tube lights, whatever, right? So these are all the opportunities for innovation in that context. So now I'll move on to, thank you sir for that answer, nice answer, okay. Now I'll move on to see Mr. C. Subramaniam. Sir, I would like to ask you what are the latest trends in cooling available, such as heat pump technology in place of refrigeration or air conditioning. Are we really close to, I am really perplexed, because when I talk in private, people say that I have reached to the ideal process, what we talk of in thermodynamics. That's why I want that clarity, means on behalf of all of us. So are we really close to achieving ideal thermodynamic cycles? And if so, are they not violation of the laws of thermodynamics? This is because we come across some micro level achievement. Recently in the newspaper it was given that one of the premier institute of India, they have developed a 100% efficient micro heat engine. It was a big surprise really. So what is your opinion on this? ideal process, is it really what they claim is correct, or it will remain only a micro thing?
Yeah, see on this use of heat pumps, see what we are doing is, as a policy, heat pumps are recommended wherever you need hot water and things like that. Instead of using boilers and all, there is a policy from Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change also. Even when they give clearance for buildings, government building clearance, they need to only have heat pumps instead of using boilers and all that. So that is one. So heat pump is like reverse of air conditioning cycle. So that is there. Now second, on the other question, there is always a development on the usage of refrigerant. See what we had is, initially we had Montreal Protocol, then Kyoto Protocol, where we had R11, R12, CFCs and all.
Yes,
CFCs sir. Were banned. And then CFCs gave way to HCFCs, then HCFCs went off, then HFCs. So you have a phase down date. And now the more focus is on use of CO2s and ammonia, natural refrigerant, even hydrogen also. But you have to be very careful about the pressure limits. Now this is an area where academia also, you can have projects, research projects, using CO2 as a secondary refrigerant or a primary refrigerant. IISc has worked out, Dr. Pramod Kumar has worked out with a lot of models on supercritical stage of CO2, and Ishre has also worked with the DST. So with DST, if you can work out something, use of CO2 and ammonia in the cascade cycle in secondary cooling for medium temperature, high temperature and low temperature. Especially Mangalore side being, you got a lot of frozen storage, cold storage requirement. I think carbon dioxide and ammonia replacing the traditional, refrigerants, artificial refrigerants, it can be done. So I think that is one area where efficiencies can be improved, emissions can be reduced, and that is the way forward, going forward. A lot of potential is there for academia also to work on those kind of projects.
Yes, sir. But are you agreeing with that when they say 100% efficient process or making a machine which is as far as the textbooks go or as per the conventional wisdom go, it is 100% efficient thing is not possible. So why those inventors are not giving any explanation and just telling and putting in the newspaper? Do you agree with this?
I am not aware of that.
Okay, I'll pass on this to you.
Yeah,
even in a private meeting at one of the premier institute, I have come across one leading researcher telling about he has also achieved ideal process. If they have really achieved, they can go to the international forum and talk about it.
Yeah,
because that is the way like things can be improved. Otherwise, we are taught that this is the limit. Now they say no, you can go up to 100%. So that clarity, if it can be provided.
Yeah, I think you can't break thermodynamic cycle, but you can improve the coefficient of performance. You can use the heat rejection for doing heating or doing a cascade cycle and things like that, and increase the coefficient of performance and efficiency of the machine as such. So in that section, there are a lot of opportunities. And maybe, you can build also plans, projects here for that. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir, for that clarification. Moving on to Mr. Prasad Vaidya. Sir, this is the question. Is it possible to make any city fully sustainable? And if not, what are the hurdles that you face? And which country or which city in the world or which country of the world is achieving sustainability in their respective city or a country as a whole? This is my question. Means what I am asking, sir, is it full sustainability? Is it possible? And if so, if not possible, what are the hurdles? And which country or which city in the world or which country in the world is leading in sustainability and they have made their city or country fully sustainable?
Thank you. Maybe I want to take your first question and do an audience poll. Is there anybody who thinks that a city can be fully sustainable? You think so? It can be, yes. Anybody else? No. So everybody else thinks a city cannot be sustainable. Okay. A lot of pessimism in the audience. That's great. So I think the question is phrased, is it possible? Of course it's possible. I mean, thermodynamically speaking, the entire Earth is one city, right? It's one system that we have, and it is sustainable because we've been living on it. We've been consuming resources that go beyond the current time and using, resources from the past, etc., with fossil fuels. But it is possible. Is it probable? The answer to probable is no. Right now, it is not probable given the way we are growing, the way we are doing things, and the activities that we perform, and the way we have inefficiencies in our systems. So the other part of your question, I think, was, is there a city that is more sustainable?
Yeah.
What are the criteria
Yes,
that are
yes.
important, etc. I think one of the ways in terms of climate change to think about sustainability is the amount of carbon emissions that happen as a result of a city. And because a city is contained of people and our people are what make up the city, the metric that works for measuring cities and their sustainability would be tons of carbon per capita per year.
Okay.
And in that, there has been data on certain cities. We don't know what the best is right now. We don't know what the benchmark is or what would be considered the most sustainable. But there are cities like Barcelona. There are cities in Sweden that have a very low, tons of carbon per capita per year.
Okay.
I think maybe we should talk a little bit of this in the context of India. Now Dr. Raja said that we have to use fossil fuel for the next few years. So that means that in terms of the operations of our cities, we are going to be using carbon. When we talk about using embodied carbon, which goes into building materials, roads, transportation, etc., even there we haven't come up with materials yet that are fully carbon free in our construction. That means that for the next few years, we are still going to have a fair amount of carbon footprint in the way we build and operate our cities. And if you think about what a city is actually the pinnacle of a hill, and that hill is all the hinterland that it's drawing resources from. So when you think about resources in terms of energy, in terms of water, in terms of food, and in terms of the ecological systems that give you the ability to process your waste, the city is actually one small part that has a very large footprint. In terms of energy, it is actually possible to a large extent to reduce your footprint so that you don't need to go outside the city boundaries. In terms of water, it is very difficult to do that. In terms of food, it is impossible to do that in the current way we do our practices. Also, in terms of ecological services to take care of our waste, we have to have landfills and other things on our site, which is what makes it very difficult. But with the things that he is talking about, if we start doing circular systems in our cities, then we'll be able to handle waste much better. So it is possible, but currently the way we have our systems going, it is improbable.
Yes, sir. You are right. Sir has said it is possible. I also say it is possible. Why, because the vehicular emissions control not only globally and in India also, you see every city, because of that control, it has come down considerably. You can't see anything pollution. Diesel engine you see. Can you see the exhaust? It's so clean as a petrol engine or a gas engine. That much of development has happened with that intervention through the United Nations. Similarly, you take the case of ozone layer depletion because of freon refrigerant and all, and through Kyoto Protocol, right, sir? They banned production and use of that, and afterwards ozone layer recovery is happening. So there is a silver lining, and definitely our efforts on sustainability also will lead to that great success. I am very sure. We are all sure, sir. Okay. Thank you for that answer. Now I'll move on to Mr. Mahadev Chikkan. I think time also running short. And last line would be, what is in it for me? I will ask each one of you. So now for Mr. Mahadev Chikkanna, as I told in my preamble talk that I was talking a petrochemical expert. He is a great believer of AI also in petrochemical industry. Now, he says plastics collected from any waste type of plastic, nothing will go as waste. All plastic will be recycled, reused in different gradations. What is your view on this? I think you explained in the morning, plastic, according to him, petrochemical, whatever plastics are manufactured, none of these plastics they will be graded, but none of them will be thrown on the street like a waste. So they are going to have a project from the government of India, means all this petrochemical industry, they are going to have collection of plastic and make it into useful, means circular. That is the thing. What is your opinion on this?
Sorry, sir. This person you're referring to, is he from India or from outside?
No, this is Indian.
Okay.
Yeah, Indian perspective.
See, in India, anyway, plastics gets recycled. About 60-70% of plastics anyway is getting recycled. What doesn't get recycled is usually single-use plastics, because there is no economics of doing that. Let's say if there is a garbage picker, if he has to earn his living from taking care of the waste, he has to pick heavier products like automotive parts or plates and bowls. 5-10 times if he bends and picks the parts, his breakfast, lunch is taken care. If he has to do the same with plastic covers, he has to do that like 200-500 times. So there's no economic, justification for doing that. So single-use plastic is a problem. Plastic has never been a problem in India. It has been a problem in Western countries because they're just lazy, all right? But in India, it's never been a problem. And most of them are talking about, when we talk about plastic recycling, right, why should only be plastics recycled? Every waste has to be recycled. Everything has to be recycled. It's like 10, 20 years ago that we are talking about plastic to be recycled. We are working with companies in Europe, Israel and US who are just recycling everything. In fact, some of the products we made, well, you talked about carbon negative materials, right? We do have carbon negative materials, but there are certain dependencies on technology which does not exist in India. And they just recycle everything. And this is not mechanical, thermomechanical recycling. India is used to usually thermomechanical recycling. Paper, how does paper get recycled? So thermomechanical recycling. How does steel gets recycled? Thermomechanical recycling. Steel, glass, thermomechanical. Now plastic has to be recycled in a different way. The technology is different. Thermomechanical recycle cannot segregate the same way. So there are a lot of technologies that are there that would break the molecular level of each of these ingredients, whether it is plastic, steel, food, everything, and then construct back whatever they need, whether they want to build a fuel out of it, whether they build new plastic out of it, whatever so, because it's all about carbohydrates, hydrocarbons, built in different form of chain, right? So recycling technology is evolving at a significant pace. I mean, we just now need to make ourselves available. What can become easier from a recycling is segregation at source, right? Which is working very well in at least cities like Bangalore, where they segregate wet waste and dry waste. It works so much well, and I can tell you, having lived in Europe and US as well, they have 4 bins, 6 bins to collect waste, but still people don't know what to throw in which bin. Here it is very clear, wet waste and dry waste. Dry waste means my children who are like 10 years, she just got her birthday, she'll kill me if I still say 9 years. 10 years and 15 years old, they know what needs to go where. Right? As long as it is segregated at source, recycling becomes easy, and recycling of every waste should be taken into account, not just plastic. One last thing that I want to also clarify people, a lot of people when they look at waste or plastic, right, they all at least visualize, and this is what is the media propaganda, right, that landfills of plastic, right? Now, United Nations has clearly said plastic in landfill has never a problem. If somebody goes around cleaning plastic in landfill, they don't get any credit. It is the other organic waste that ends up in landfill are the biggest problem than plastic. Because landfills are designed to handle the waste which cannot be reprocessed. I mean, the waste hierarchy, if we talk about, right? First is reduce, then reuse, then recycle, then incineration, then finally it comes landfill. What should go to landfill is something that cannot be handled in any of these things. And plastic is not a problem in landfill. So, just again, coming back to your point, sir, recycling technology is changing at a significant pace. Everything else will get recycled. We just have to start designing, planning, making products which can be recycled. If we start making single-use products, whether it is paper, wood, plastic, whatever it is, the entire ecosystem is going to be defeated. The total circular economy is built around circulating resources, not one-time use. Okay. And beyond circular economy, I think everybody should start thinking about green economy, which includes social inclusion as well. Very, very important. Right? Okay. Sorry, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Students, don't leave. We are going to end up soon. this session, the last round will be there. Now I will be asking you, starting from Mr. Mahadev, I am not covering P and 4P, conventional profit, and now 4Ps when we talk of ESG and all, because already it has been covered. Now I want to ask you, for our own, we are represented by here by our own NMMIT different departments, and also NITTE University institutions are here. In what way we can work together? Probably that you can tell, in what way, maybe with your company or your intervention, in what way we can work together, so that you may please let us know.
Yes, sir. I was talking to Mr. Vinod, right, this afternoon during lunch as well. There are multiple opportunities because the space we are in and what we've created is not a manufacturing setup, it's not a product manufacturing, it's not a material manufacturing. We've got a platform, right? And there are multiple levels at which we can engage with staff and students. First, if there are entrepreneurs who want to start their own enterprise, start with manufacturing products, of course, we do some technology transfer, enabling them to do injection molding, thermoforming, whatever products they choose. Very happy to kind of enable them to do the manufacturing. There are quite a lot of subsidies available from government, especially if you're setting up in the rural setup as well. For women-owned entrepreneurs, there are even more subsidies available. So up to about 75% capital investment subsidies are available if they are willing to do take that entrepreneurial journey in making sustainable products.
Is it through AIC, Atal Incubation Center?
No, not at
Which route is this?
There are multiple, Coir Board is doing that. Coir Board has, I think, 90%, up to 90% subsidies available.
Oh, really?
National Bamboo Mission has 50% subsidy. Right? So there are such subsidies available. In addition to that, state government also has subsidies.
Okay.
So there's cities tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 defined. Yeah. And based on the tier, there is higher subsidies available. Okay. That's number one. Number two, there might be good product engineers, product designers, creative minds. We are continuously looking at introducing new products into the ecosystem. Right? We made material which can be pretty much molded into anything. It can be what we call it as cars to cutlery, right? So imagine a product that you want to bring it to market that is today not sustainable. We can help you do the life cycle assessment, and if it makes sense, then you can design the product. We will sponsor the mold. We will develop and take it to the market. That's number two. Number three, if there are great creative minds, today, like I said, awareness is one of the biggest challenges that we have today. If there are great content writers, technical writers, creative people who would wish to work with us in creating that awareness, then there are youngsters. Nearly 25% of our team today is youngsters doing social media marketing, digital marketing, creating content for creating awareness around that. So that's something that can be done as well. So these are few top of the mind recall that I have that we can engage with, but I'm open for any suggestions as well.
Fantastic, sir. Fantastic. You have a lot of opportunities for students and faculty members to get involved. Like when you say 90% subsidy, then if you are investing 1 crore, you have to invest just 10 lakhs. Right, no, sir? Correct. So that's such a great opportunity. You think about it. And innovation, whatever new things can be done. For information of all, now bus will leave at 5 o'clock. So we can peacefully conclude our this session.
One last thing. In Bangalore alone, we've enabled about 40 mostly women entrepreneurs who we supply our products at a very subsidized rate. They then have their network, whether there's a small shop or they participate in certain events to sell the products. We don't have anybody in and around Bangalore, this belt. So if there are such entrepreneurs, then we can even engage, educate them on the products, and they can then become our channel partners. Sorry to take
Thank you, sir.
more time. Yeah.
Now my question to Mr. Prasad Vaidya. Sir, in the morning during focus discussion, his observation afterwards, just he was taking a point with me, why there was no lady in that, in this fight. Sir, you may answer that. And also, in that context, the continuation of that, you may tell us the same question what I asked him, in what way we can work together, sir. Actually, when you said, sir, Mr. Chikkanna, you said, it is irrespective of the discipline. People may think sustainability means mechanical civil. That is not the case. It is irrespective of discipline, irrespective of institutions. So think it that way. Same thing, sir, Mr. Prasad Vaidya, sir. Now you may tell us in what way we can work together. What are the opportunities for our group of institutions? You may please tell us.
Yeah. So I think the first part of your question was, my comment about these are all men over here, and then, all the panels that we've had were all men. And actually, my own experience with Solar Decathlon India, which is the net zero building challenge that we run, is that when we look at our student participants, and we have 2,500 students that participate from 180 plus colleges every year, we get about 50% that are women participants, 50% that are male participants. Then we have our mentors. Okay, mentors we are able to choose, and they are generally of the early stage careers, etc. We get about 66% who are women and 33% that are men. When we look at our jury members, now we are looking at people who are experienced and in the profession and have been around for a while. We can barely get 33% women because organizations have not allowed their women employees to rise into that area, to rise high enough. Then when we look at higher levels in terms of board members or something, especially in construction firms, you cannot find one woman there. So this is a problem with our, with our society and our culture and the way we have been, working with. Women don't get opportunities to rise high enough in our organizations, and I think that just reflects on what we see over here. As an educational institution, I think we can make efforts to make sure that they get encouraged and that we are able to see them, because they need to be role models also. So that's that first part of your question.
You're right, sir. Thank you.
And I think the second part of your question is what can we do? So I think that my first recommendation to any students who want to sort of dabble in climate tech is take a look at Solar Decathlon India, try to participate in a team. You'll get 9 months to sort of, do something, do some innovation, do work on it. It's it's an opportunity to be able to learn what it means to be in the climate space. And believe me, this is a huge opportunity coming up in the next 30 to 50 years for anybody from any profession or any discipline. This is the way our economies are going to go. Now, I represent actually 3 different initiatives or organizations. One, of course, is Solar Decathlon India, where if you are in it, then we try to make sure that you get placed with the best organizations that are working in climate tech. The second is the Indian Institute for Human Settlements, where I'm a senior advisor, where our secretariat for Solar Decathlon India is located. And I also do a fair amount of research and teaching within IIHS. We have a new campus that is being built, which is net zero energy, water, etc. And we try out new technologies. So if you have something that you've developed in your research lab, and if you want to try it out, you want to test it out, we have new buildings that are constantly coming up, and we have experimental buildings that can be transformed into lab spaces where we can take your technologies and try them out. So there's a way to be able to collaborate on this. We can get funding through DST, etc. for that. And also, the IIHS also sort of considers its campus to be a test bed. So just like you don't have to be a research lab if you're a student and you still have an idea of you're trying to test or deploy something, that's also a possibility. Now, the third organization that I also represent is the Alliance for an Energy Efficient Economy, AEEE. This organization largely works in the policy area, but it is related to energy efficiency, it is related to climate and decarbonization. But it works from buildings, transportation, food security, all of those areas which consume energy, and energy efficiency can be done. So if you want to be working in the area of policy where you want to have a larger impact, get in touch with me. I can put you in touch, put you in touch with AEEE, and that becomes a career pathway for most people. It can be something that faculty also may be interested in. You want to impact policy, but you don't know what to do, where to go. So these are organizations that are possible. AEEE is also an organization that is member-led, and their members are mostly large industries like Carrier and Saint-Gobain. Many of these manufacturers, Bosch, etc., are members. So placements through them to these organizations and these companies are also possible, and of course the policy side.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir, for the insights on how to work together. Nice, thank you very much. Now coming to C. Subramaniam, sir, in what way we can work together?
Yeah. So I feel that there are two ways possible. One at a personal level, being in the field of air conditioning, building automation, controls and instrumentation, and green building sustainability. We can work at, looking at the curriculum and then fine tuning it and for industry readiness and things like that. And there also we can do some program where we can be part of the distant faculty team and then take part in the faculty teaching part, and where we can ensure that that aspect of the industry part is covered.
Yes, sir.
Because there will be possibly 70-30, where 30% can be industry part. And project related, we are working on some projects, so internships, interns, in fact I had taken some interns from NITK
Okay.
couple of years back, and on green buildings, because especially civil engineers, architects,
Okay.
mechanical engineers, they can work on that.
Okay.
That is one area.
Okay.
And second part is from the society. There is an Indian Society of Heating, Refrigerating, Air Conditioning Engineers, where I was a past presidential member. It's on a voluntary basis.
Okay.
So they have student chapters. So there is a job portal, so they can become student members.
Okay.
So there will be a lot of programs which can be run. I think Dr. Kapilan and your Nete Meenakshi,
He is there.
Nete Meenakshi Bangalore chapter is aware of that.
Yeah, okay.
So we can engage with them more positively, all the students,
Okay.
and ensure that they have an industry connect immediately.
Okay.
And we have also done AACT program for faculty members also.
Okay.
So that also can be done, where the faculties are trained on, aspects of air conditioning related subjects also, so that can be passed on to the students also.
Okay.
So
Right,
that
sir.
also, so there are a lot of areas where we can work together at a personal level and society level.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sir, coming over to Dr. J. Raja.
Yes,
you may
sir.
please let us know.
Actually, frankly speaking, you might have to start this question from my side onwards. So we are the trainers, sir. Under ministry, there are 4 training institutes are there. One we from National Power Training Institute, for any training related program we used to conduct on behalf of ministry, as well as our specialization is in thermal area. And the second institute where it is located at Chennai, which is specifically meant for wind, NIWE, we used to say National Institute of Wind Energy. And the third one is located at Gurgaon, Gwalpadi, near to Delhi NCR, which is for solar energy, National Institute of Solar Energy. And similarly, the fourth one is located at Panchkula, which is at Punjab. And the name of the institute is the National Institute of Biomass, and they are concentrating biomass. And being a thermal engineer, being a trainer, we are offering 2 specialized courses for engineer and diploma holders. And we used to say postgraduate diploma course in thermal power plant familiarization. That is for engineer, those are completed their graduates. And the second one is post-diploma course for diploma holders. It is again one year course duration. So for both course, each course has 2 semesters. And the important part over those 2 courses are, we used to have a number of hands-on experiments in thermal area with real-time plant, where we are located very nearer to NLCIL, which has more than 2,800 megawatt capacity, where we are sending our trainees for a duration of something like 3 to 4 months continuously over there, and we train them. Okay. Sir, frankly speaking, in fact, our Indian current situation is we don't have skilled manpower. Yeah. We are very much lack of skilled manpower, and people, those are coming out from even a good reputed engineering college, is unable to explain all aspects into practical related queries. And the only drawback or the offering courses from our side is since you people are those who are registered over there, they are paying their semester fees directly to the ministry, and the cost of that 1 year course is around more than 3 lakh rupees. But I can assure you, as of now, we something like in power industry, we have trained more than 5,20,000 power professionals, particularly into thermal power sector. and we are able to achieve more than 100% placement record.
Oh, great.
And our students' salary normally starts from 13 to up to 9 to 10 lakh rupees.
Okay.
Okay. And for faculty members, our training program we categorized into 3 groups.
Okay.
Long-term program, which has a duration of 1 year, and medium and short-term program. Medium has a duration of 1 month up to 3 months, and short-term is for 1 to 3 days or up to 5 days.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So whatever people likes,
Yeah.
they can offer, and just go to our website. You can able to find our training calendar, and we are offering n number of courses,
Okay, sir.
particularly for engineers and diploma holders. That too with a specialization of mechanical, electrical, instrumentation. That's it.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Sir, Mr. Prasad Vaidya would like to say something.
So just one more thing I remembered I wanted to mention, that at Indian Institute for Human Settlements, we've in-house built an open source campus operating system for a smart, sustainable campus that collects data through metering, etc., from our buildings, our water pumps, our water bodies, biodiversity with camera traps and all of that, and collects all that information and presents it in a dashboard, so that we are able to keep track of which building is using more energy, which system is more using energy, more water, what is the per capita carbon of people on the campus, and all of that. That data then is also being used to be able to control the systems on the campus. So we are able to do demand shedding of our campus when we have power outage, etc., to be able to sustain power. So many ways to use that data. If your administration and if there are faculty members who are interested in developing something like this for your campus, we will happily collaborate and share whatever we know about it. You can take a look at what we have and see how you want to develop it by yourself. So whichever the right departments for this are, and if your administration is interested, get in touch with me. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. Thanks to you all panel members, sir, for excellent inputs, whatever you given. Now for summary of this entire panel discussion, over to you, Professor Vinod Aranna, sir.
So thank you very much, Professor Karinka. All our panelists have exceeded all our expectations and thinking. I'm sure all the students, definitely faculty, would agree that we've gained a lot from them. Thanks to Dr. Murthy for giving us, for starting off with that wonderful initiation where you gave your keynote and you hit upon so many salient features of sustainability that opened our eyes to it. In conclusion, to summarize, I've already done this once before in a small way, but here there's so much to be said. But at this point, I think my job here is to not restate what they've said, but to actually take from it and to kind of say, what is it that is there for us? In case you already know, but in case I miss something, you can again, put it back so that so everybody hears it once again. So I think in the regular scheme of things, the way we talk of academia and people from industry who come to us, the way that how we engage with the industry is through internships. So the regular forms, internships, semester-end projects, some studio projects and things like that. But today, I think as we look at the way that our experts have put things across, there are more different, but there are a number of other ways that one can do it. For example, starting with Dr. Murthy and also again voiced by Dr. Subramaniam, is where you can get involved with curriculum design. So often, we have areas when we start to design and curriculum becomes important. So bringing the industry perspective there, and we will go ahead to say that possibly we could also work with partnerships with institutions and labs that we have within us. So like, for example, here there's a big Atal incubation lab, but there are smaller labs that are there in every institute. So possibly if faculty can identify what they've heard and say that, oh, wow, my lab can meet with an invitation by one of the industry experts, we can make that connection. So it's up to us from within academia to make that connection now. You heard the industry experts, so now we need to get that connection right. We have here Mr. Chikanna, who spoke about the platform, wherein he says, we have the platform, and so now it's up to you, where you can kind of tie up with us and make it work. So It ranges from areas that can have even funding that sometimes goes up to 90%, so that possibly maybe it's a government funding that, that they can help us to tie. In case we don't know it, industry knows it. So it's for us to kind of tie in and say, folks, remember one thing, they will not come back to us again. It's for us to go back to them. So hear carefully, even a lot of students out here, keep your eyes open. These are opportunities that don't come so easy. Your institute has done this for you. We spoke of the solar decathlon on one hand, which opens up so many possibilities. We were from the School of Architecture, in a small way, we've done it. Ours is a very small institution, but massive institutions like the NMMIT and the ones in Bangalore and there's so many others. It's a multidisciplinary program. Students will benefit. The benefit is not from just the learning. It also leads to placement. So you understand, the easy way to get to a place, to get placed somewhere is also through a competition that you can enter in over here. Professor Prasad Vaidya spoke also of the IIHS and spoke of how there are new testing technologies that can be used. And so, which means that in case a student wants to do a project and you feel it's something that you can tie in with something with the building industry, with energy, with mechanical systems, civil infrastructure, yeah, there's a testing bed over there that, is available to you to take that forward. Those who are interested in writing and policy work, there are different types of people. There are researchers. So there's also the policy think tank that they have at the AEEE, which he can, connect you with. Most of the work is in energy efficiency. And also he mentioned about large corporations are connected to them. So when you start to work with them and you get tied into another corporation that works somewhere, and if they see your worth, you get placed. So you see, you're going for your passion, and then you get placed. So sometimes when we graduate from our schools and colleges, we think we should go for the money. You heard our chancellor very candidly speaking about how this should be it should be something for your passion, a knowledge based, not a degree based. So having the passion to go ahead and get that knowledge is critical here. Another point that I glean from is, it may seem simple. For example, Professor Subramani, I think, was with the ISHRE. You were also president of ISHRE, and you spoke of how there are memberships. So memberships of organizations is another important thing. Just being a part of your ISHRE or IEEE, or there are several of them. Being a part of it, by being a student member, you get exposed or you get connections. This is your time at university to network, and networking to industry could happen through these memberships that could be there, and some of them could also end up with internships for you. Yeah, I think Dr. Raja spoke about, he said, we have training institutes. So I'm sure you heard it, but just for the record, I'm just saying that, he spoke of Chennai, Delhi, and Punjab, where they deal with institutes that deal with wind energy, solar energy, and biomass. So, I mean, these are all interesting things. And sir, you said these are for diploma and engineering students. I would say you also please keep a place for some architecture students who may also want to come there. So, it's because we have people who are interested, and sometimes some of them might be able to benefit from it. There's also where you spoke of, there may be a cost associated, something like there are one-year programs, 1 month programs, and 5 days, up to 5 days. But what he said struck me most was about the placement. 100% placement. It might be 3 lakhs you're paying for it, but you get back all of that, and money will always flow. Go with what you can, with your passion, and it'll collect back. Also, IIHS has other data collection areas where you can collaborate, and if you have a project within your school project somewhere, either during the course of a semester or at the end, you can get in touch with them. We also spoke a little bit about one more thing, is about somewhere within institutions or universities. We have these spaces like Atal or other things, but we also, if there was a space where industry could have a back-end office, you're doing great work up there, but there may be a group of students that might want to do a small segment of work that could probably just be design based or conceptual based, or maybe some fabrication and prototyping. So possibly you might be able to fund, if possible, some of it to the institute, and so it'll be a win-win situation for industry and academia, I think, in getting some of it back. And that could be from design, ideas, fabrication, testing, feedback, surveys. There's a lot of different areas. Everybody has a different, wavelength of where you're interested in. It should fit all. All right. I think there's a lot of funding available from industry, either direct funding or CSR or other forms of funding. I think it's up to us at the institute level, at academia, from faculty, from heads of institutions, as well as definitely students can push for it if you want it, because industry leaders are here. They've come to your institute from far. They've taken a lot of trouble to come here. I think maybe it's right to just give them just a big round of applause for what they've done. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Vinodaranna sir. Sir, now it's the time for memento. I request the principal, and please come forward, sir. Gopinath sir and Parameshwaran sir, please come forward. And Mr. Murthy sir, please come up. I request principal sir to hand over memento to Dr. Raja. I request Professor Parameshwaran to hand over a memento to Mr. C. Subramaniam. I request Professor Gopinath to come forward and give a memento to Mr. Prasad Vaidya. I request sir, Principal to hand over a memento to Mr. Mahadev Chikkanna. Huh? Sir. Huh? Yeah. To Mr. K.P. Murthy, permission, sir, please, memento, please do. And I request principal to hand over a memento to Professor Vinod Arana. Yeah. Yeah. Please. Yeah, students may leave because you are in a hurry. Thank you all very much for your patient hearing.